G'day guys, so it's 10:48 on the 27th of July. It's a Saturday. Race 1 at Randwick is in 31 minutes. I'm going to quickly go through and show you how I go about setting up a day and starting to follow the horse system. Ultimately, what you will get out of this video is learning a few things about how to set yourself up for the day, how to plan the day, how to use the spreadsheets, how to use the planning spreadsheet, the best way to actually, follow the bets, get the bets on, potentially look at restructuring your day later on as we progress through the day and potentially have some races that are skipped. But ultimately, for someone who is new, who hasn't, either followed a day yet or you followed a couple of days, but you're not too sure how the best way to set yourself up and actually attack the day, hopefully this video will help you. I'll show you how I would go about following and setting up a day, and then you can watch and learn a bit from that. So I'll get straight into it. So Tom has sent out the promo list for the day. Before we get to that, sorry to cut in guys, we're gonna be giving away $500 on this vlog, a giveaway competition to the best answer of the competition. The whole competition will be centered around mistakes. Okay, back in year 11, my chemistry teacher was super anal about mistakes, but more importantly, he was super anal about learning from them. So he made every single one of us, and we absolutely hated it, but he made every single one of us have a book of errors that we had to write down every single mistake that we ever made on tests, exams, SACs, questions, whatever, so that we could review the book of errors and not make the same mistakes twice. In my opinion, it's an elite way to learn. So for this $500 giveaway, it's going to be a two-part competition. The first part, I want everyone to identify the mistakes that I made in this vlog. I didn't make them on purpose. They were accidental mistakes due to being a little bit rusty. There's a few mistakes in there as well, but there is one major mistake that I made that I didn't even realize what I'd done wrong until after filming and until I was editing the vlog. So the competition is identify these mistakes and explain why they happened. Explain what I or someone else can do to avoid making these mistakes again in the future. So that's the first part. Identify the mistakes, explain why they happened, and explain what someone else or me could have done to avoid making these same mistakes again in the future. That's the first part. The second part, add in an extra measure that you take personally to ensure that you minimize mistakes on a day following the horse system or within match betting in general. So two parts, the first one being about the mistakes I made, and the second part being about mistakes you've made and a measure that you put in place now to avoid making those mistakes. $500 to the best answer, and we may give away a couple of second and third prizes as well. Anyway, back to the promo list. So the tipping channel, where's the tipping channel? The tipping channel's here. And we have the promo list here, as we can see it here on screen, but we've also got what we have started doing now is we've also started sending you guys the actual Excel version of the promo list as well, so that you can, go in here and be like, and start planning your day with this actual spreadsheet. So I'm going to use this spreadsheet to plan my day. I'm also going to use this spreadsheet here. Now, this is part of the system recording spreadsheet, so you will have access to it, so everyone will recognize that sheet. This is just on the next tab over in plan. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into here and I'm going to fill out all the races that we are using today. And I probably, can just go Command-Shift-Down, Control-C, and go Control-V. And perfect, we can go straight in there. Race number over here, Command-Shift-Down, Control-C. Race number will go over here, and our times, copy, Command-Shift-Down, Control-C, copy it, and we'll paste it across over here. There we go. So now instantly I've just been able to basically transfer what races we'll be using into the plan spreadsheet for the day. All right, first thing that you'll note is that we have a couple of pink races, we have a couple of clear races, and we have a couple of green races. So I know, and we tell you that the green races mean that we will outlay a maximum of 1 unit. Now today, I'm going to be following on a $50 unit size. Okay, so I know that for this race here, Randwick Race 6, I am going to be placing at most 1 bet. Now, if you have a $20 unit size, you're still only going to be placing 1 bet, because the most you're going to outlay is $20, and that $20 will be only outlaid on 1 horse. Therefore, you only need to be placing 1 bet. So that's something that we can take note of as we start to fill out where we're going to be placing our bookies. Our bets, sorry. Obviously the pink, that means that we are potentially outlaying 3 units. Now, generally speaking, this will only ever be on 2 horses. So at worst, this will be on 2 horses. Very, very rarely it's on 3 horses. And if it is on 3 horses, we will give you a lot of notification saying that there will be 3 horses tipped in this race. Make sure you therefore have 3 bookies ready to go. So I'm going to need 3 bookies ready to go. I've got a $50 unit size. At most, I'm going to be outlaying $150. Generally speaking, most of the bookies offer bonus back to $50. So I'm going to need 150 divided by 50, 3 bets and 3 different bookies for the 3 unit races. And then obviously for the 2 unit races, I'm going to need 2 bookies. Obviously, if I was following with a $100 unit size, I'd need to plan for 4 bookies here. However, most people aren't following on more than a $50 unit size, particularly if you're new, and especially if you're new. If you're new, do not follow more than a $20 unit size, even a $10 unit size. But I thought I'd just throw that in there so that people are aware of, what the vision is of scaling things up. So, all right. I've also got my phone here. So this is where I will be betting today, all on this phone. I was thinking whether or not I should do this on screen and have all my bookies on the screen. I recommend for most people, have all your bookies up on a laptop. It's so much easier. With a big setup like this, you can have Sportsbet here, Tab here, PointsBet here, MintBet here, BetM here, Surge here, Unibet here, SwiftBet here, whatever. You can do it that way. However, I thought I'd show it on my phone, and then maybe another day I'll show you how I would approach it on a laptop screen, but we'll do it on my phone. So I'll be using it here. These are the bookies that I have, and these are the bookies that I will be using today. I've got a Sportsbet, a Tab, a BetR, Ladbrokes. I don't think I have any account exclusive promos on this Ladbrokes, so I won't be using Ladbrokes. I've got a BetM, PointsBet. There's nothing good there. I might be able to get a bet back with PointsBet. I'll have a look. Surge, BoomBet, MintBet, PalmerBet, PlayUp, BetNation, BlueBet, EliteBet. I don't think I have promotions there. Unibet, I'm not too sure if I have promotions there. But we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got about 10 bookies. So I am probably, I've probably got the bare minimum amount of bookies, but we can see how it plays out throughout the day. So I'll start planning my day. Now, Tom did a really good video on this about how you should start planning your day from the bottom up. So start from the later races in the day and then work backwards to the earlier races in the day. And the reason for that is because the earlier races in the day, there are so many different bookies that you can choose from. Look at them, there's bloody heaps of them. However, later in the day, you've got less options in terms of the bookies that are offering bonus bets back. So you want to make sure that you don't use bookies later in the day, earlier in the day. So bookies that are only offered later in the day, we need to save them for later in the day. So we're not going to use them earlier in the day. So that's why we work backwards. We'll tick them off later in the day, earlier in the planning. And then that means when we work our way up, we know we've used this bookie, we're only left over with this bookie. However, if you were to do it the opposite way and you go, all right, race 1, I'm going to use Bet Deluxe and BetM. Race 2, I'm going to use BetM and BetNation. All of a sudden, later in the day, when you've only got Bet Deluxe, BetM, BetNation, and SwiftBet to choose from, you're stuffed because you've already, selected BetM 4 or 5 times earlier in the day. So that's why you want to start from the bottom, work your way up. So Caulfield race 9, my first bet. I will look to use, I know BetR, I'll use a BetR bet there. Now BetR only offer $25 bet back, so I'm gonna have to, so you'll see here on the spreadsheet, 230, that shouldn't say that, should say 50. I think we can actually change it over here. So if we go over here, we can see using this planning spreadsheet, all the different bookies are here. There might be some more that I need to add in, but it automatically detects what your unit size is here. So if we Control V, we'll see in BetR, I selected BetR and it said I've got a $50 bet. That's incorrect. BetR only offer $25 bet backs. So I'm going to go over here and change the unit size that I've got over here for 25 for BetR, and now that'll fix it up there. So that means obviously this is a potential 2-unit play, and I've only got $25 worth of BetR. So I'm still going to need another 2 bookies at least to cover the remaining potential $75, assuming 2 units at $50 to use. I'm also going to use BetNation. That's 50, perfect. And I will then also use, I will actually have a look to see if my points bet, I've got a $25 bet back, perfect. So that works well. So I've got a $25 bet back with points bet. So because I'm using a $25 bonus with BetR, I only need another $25 potential to be outlaid here. So I'm going to use my points bet here and put that in. Points bet, that hasn't registered. There we go. Points bet, it's saying $50, but I know it's only $25. So I'm going to go back to here and $25. Perfect. And so what we'll see over here is this will start counting for us how many promos we are placing on each bookie. Obviously, I'm not going to be using Baggy Bet. I'm not going to be using Bet365. Boom Bet I might use. Boss Bet, no. Cross Bet, no. Dabble, I might use Dabble. Elite Bet, no. Scander Bet, no. Gold Bet, Ladbrokes, Palmer Bet, maybe. Pickle Bet, Points Bet, Pump 123. This is obviously a bit of an older list. Top Sport, no. Unibet, I don't think so. Upcos, no. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I've got 12 bookies on here. Obviously, you can always set up more bookies as well. So that's something you should definitely do. But all right, we've started off. Now we can start to see the count has started to go up. So I've obviously got one promo bet for points bet. So as I go through this, I can check back here and it can easily check for me to see how many promo bets I've used on each bookie. All right, Randwick race 10. All right, we need one of these. I will potentially use BetM here. BetM 50, perfect. Caulfield race 8. I'm also going to use, I will use BetNation again. BetNation, yep. And I will potentially look to use a MintBet bet back. So I'm going to put in here, I've got MintBet bet backs on this. I'll check my MintBet now to make sure I do have bet backs. Obviously, the good thing about once you do this for a couple of weeks, you get a feel of what all your accounts are. I haven't followed the horse system for a little while, so I need to go and check what my accounts have, what eligibility I've got, which bet backs I've got. Once you do it for a couple of weeks, it just becomes second nature. You just know, yes, on this account, I'm going to get this. But I need to double check that now. All right, Randwick race 9. Here we go. SwiftBet and a BetNation and a BetM. So I'm just going to fill it out anyway. I know I've obviously already put in a few BetNations. That's already 3 BetNations and 3 BetMs. So it is getting a little bit thin, and this is why we start from the bottom. Potentially, if these were, if this is the only set of accounts that I had, or if these were the only accounts that I had, I'd potentially look to skip, but we'll keep filling out the promo list or the planning list, and then we can go from there. Caulfield race 7. What do we got? SportsBet and BetR. I have a feeling sports, so I'm going to use SportsBet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use BetR as my 25, and then I'm going to use SportsBet for the remaining 25. So it says 50 there. I won't need it, but I'll have SportsBet ready to go there. Randwick, Race 8, BetNation, and BetM. I'm going to be looking at BetM there. Caulfield Race 6. What do we got here? Caulfield Race 6. All right, now we've got a bit more of a selection of bookies. So I'm going to go tab here, and I'm going to go... Let's see if I've got a bet back on Palmer Bet that I can slip in there somewhere. Have a quick look on Palmer Bet. Oh, it's making me update the app. That's fantastic. I'm fairly sure I do have a bet back on Palmer Bet, so I'm just going to put in Palmer Bet there for now. Palmer Bet. Randwick race 7, we're back to, so I'm going to use SportsBet here, and I will use BetM. Caulfield race 5. All right, we've got a few more options now, so I'm going to put in player, and I will put in Bluebet. Doomben race 5, I will put in tab. Randwick race 5, I'm going to go tab and SportsBet here. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just trying to sort of keep in my mind roughly what I've used. so far and just trying to roughly spread it out a little bit. And then I'm going to go through to here and be like, oh wow, I've used BetM too much. I need to find a substitute. Sportsbet and Tab, I've used too much. But I'll fill out the whole day first and then see what I can do after that. Caulfield race 3. Now that we have our day planned, we can see this is just the first version of my day planning anyway. But we can have a look over here and see how many promos we're planning to use across each of the bookies. This is the thing, right? So we can see here instantly Sportsbet and Tab, we're planning to use 7 promos there. That's heaps. PlayUp is 6. That's heaps. Bluebet is 8, that's heaps. BetM 5, BetNation 4, they're about on the brink. So we wouldn't want to be placing this many promos. So this is now where I'm going to go back to the drawing board and I'm going to try and sort of rearrange my promo list a little bit to see if I can get these numbers down a little bit. Bearing in mind as well that most likely throughout the day we're going to have races that we skip. So if we do skip a race and it means that, Randwick race 4, we only outlay 1 unit or something, we can just come in here and just delete those promos straight off there. But anyway, I'm still going to try and see where I can lighten the load a little bit. So mint bet, I reckon I can probably, I've got, I think, 4 bet returns on my mint bet, so that's probably fine. Palmer bet, I did want to double check that I do have a bet back on Palmer bet, so I'll have a quick look at that now. Skip that. It's been a while since I've used Palmer bet, but I can have a look here. Here we go. Race rescue up to $25. So I've got a race rescue up to $25. So I do have it, but I'm just going to need to use it in a place where there's $25. And I know there was a sports bet I put somewhere. Here we go. So this is where I'll use my Palmer bet one. And that's only $25 on Palmer bet. So we'll go back to here, $25. And then the original place where I had that Palmer bet, I'm now going to need to fill that in with another bookie if I can find it. Where is it? Palmer bet. There it is there. Okay, cool. So Caulfield race 6, I'll swap them over and put that sports bet back in there. All right, cool. I'm going to check my Boom Bet and see if I've got any bet returns on Boom Bet. Have a look in here, race returns. I do. I have one on Boom Bet, so I can use a Boom Bet. So I'm going to plug in, let's find a Blue Bet, and I'm going to swap that with a Boom Bet somewhere. Where is it? Where's a Blue Bet that we can take out? Here we go, perfect. And I'm going to put in a Boom Bet there. So now, as you can see, I've added one to my Boom Bet because I've got a bet return on my Boom Bet, and I've taken one off the Blue Bet. That's good. Where else? PlayUp, Sportsbet, Tab, and Bluebet. So they're all a little bit high. I probably would like to get them down a little bit. Randwick race 1 is about to jump though. So obviously this has taken me, a good sort of 20 minutes or so, but a lot of that is to do with the fact that I'm not super familiar with my accounts. But having said that, for new people, you probably won't be familiar with your accounts as well. Once you do this process a number of times, I guarantee you it will get so much easier. I think it's good that I've gone through this process as someone almost who is getting back into the game, so that you'll be able to resonate and relate to, I guess, sort of the same problems that I'm facing or the things that are holding me up. But I do guarantee you the more you do this, the simpler and the easier it gets. But right now, we're going to get ready for the tips to come through. So I've got it up here. So those tips are going to be coming through any minute now. I know that I'm going to be using, for now, I'm definitely going to be using PlayUp and BetNation. So what I'm going to do, this is something I probably should have done a bit earlier, but I'm going to make sure that I've got money in these accounts as well. This is something that you should do all the time. As we can see here, my PlayUp's got some money in it, so that's good. Now my BetNation, maybe later. So I do need to deposit into my BetNation. So that's good that I had a look now. If this ever happens and the tips come through and you're like, oh my God, just use a different bookie and then just readjust on your plan. That's the easiest way to do it for sure. First tips come through, no more tips. All right, so there's a perfect example right there. So the first tip has come through, Randwick Race 1, number 5, Sakima. So I'm ready to go on my PlayUp account. So it's actually good. Sakima, $25. My unit size is $50, so I'm going to place a $25 bet. Had I had money in my blue bet, what I probably would have done there is I probably, this is an extra sort of tip, I would have gone and checked, all right, who's got the highest odds? So Sakima. So play up, I had a sneaky suspicion as I placed that bet on play up that they were going to be shit odds. Play up, you do need to be careful with sometimes. Sometimes they're really good odds, sometimes they're really shit odds. So what I would recommend doing there is definitely placing that bet on BetNation because they've got the better odds. I am going to deposit into this account now anyway. Obviously, if I was a little bit more prepared, then, you know, everything would have been a lot easier to do, a lot smoother sailing. I'm going to deposit $100 into this account. Deposit now. So obviously, I've already put the bet on, so it is what it is now. But I just got a deposit offer as well with BetNation. That's nice. How nice of them. Gave me a $50 deposit offer with that deposit. So that's a free $50 bet, free $50 bonus bets that I can turn over into, you know, 80%. And the race has started. So let's watch the race, I suppose. This is where I'd normally have it on the TV, but obviously this morning just a little bit disorganized. So I'll just get this up on here for now. And I'm going to get my spreadsheet ready to go as well, where I can input the data. Oh, here we go. It's already here. So activity. So the date is the 27th of July. This is a promo bet. I placed that on PlayUp. Sport is racing. Is the system? Yes, I don't bother with this column, but some people like to do that. So I'll put it in anyway. And the odds I got was $5. So that's that. Now let's watch the race if I can get it up before it finishes. Here we go. We're in a bit of a concrete jungle here, and here we go. Sakima came second. Yeah, okay. No worries. So that means that is a bonus bet. Bonus back, as we can see there, straight into the spreadsheet. I've got a net cash. I'm also going to input my deposit into BetNation here as well. I deposited $100, and with that, I also got a bonus credit, not a bonus, but a bonus credit with BetNation of $50. So now if we have a look over here, we can see here that we've got a bonus balance of $25 in PlayUp just from that race, and we've got a $50 bonus bet in BetNation that we can use as well. So it's really important that you do input these bonus credits. It'll mean that your spreadsheet is accurate and your results are accurate, but it'll also mean that you can use this tab to track where your bonuses are, and you can trust that it's accurate. So the more accurate you input the data, the more helpful the spreadsheet is, I suppose. So that's race one done. We go back to the plan. We didn't end up using BetNation, and we only used $25 here with PlayUp, but that's fine. We don't need to change that. So now we can see if we go back to our plan, that's only after one race. BetNation, we're only planning to use that 3 times now. So I reckon that's where I will look to swap out one of the blue bets and put in a BetNation, because we can see I've got 7 in blue bet, 7 in Sportsbet and Tab, and 7 in PlayUp. Which is a little bit too much for sure, but as the day progresses, I suspect that those numbers are going to come down a little bit because of these races that we skipped. So here what I'll do, I'll find a blue bet on the next race, and I'm going to make sure BetNation is at Doomben, so I can't swap it out there, so I'll find a different blue bet. So what I'm looking to do here is I'm trying to find somewhere where a blue bet is in the plan. For instance here, Caulfield Race 2, yes, and I can swap it out with a BetNation because BetNation is offered. What I was looking to do is Doomben Race 1 using it, or swapping out the blue bet and putting in BetNation. However, we can see Doomben Race 1, there is no BetNation offered there, so I can't swap it out. So I'll do it here instead. So BetNation there. All right. Now that's looking a little bit nicer already. 4 on BetNation, 5 on BetM, 6 on Bluebet. Still a little bit high on Bluebet for sure. It's too high. And this might mean that potentially I will look to skip maybe a couple of races at the end of the day just because it is a little bit thin. But we can see how this progresses throughout the day as well. And that's where obviously the more you do this, the more experience you get in this game, you get a better feel of, of how the day will progress and that. But I do suspect that potentially another 10 promos will be wiped off through skipped races. I suspect that. It's never good to, I guess, assume that at the same time, but obviously I've got a very good understanding of how the horse system operates. So I probably do expect that about 10 promos will be wiped off. And if that's the case, then I lose one on BetM, I lose one or two on Bluebet, I lose a couple on PlayUp, I lose a couple on Sportsbet and Tab. And then, my spread's looking pretty solid. If we were to outlay all 46 units, then what I would probably do is with the current bookie spread that I have, I'd potentially skip a couple of races later in the day. And then, I could save myself a BetNation, a BetM, in which case I could use them earlier in the day and then save a Sportsbet and a Tab. But we can sort of see how the day progresses throughout. And that'll be, we'll only know once we see it progress. So we'll leave it there. So Randwick Race 2, I'm going to be using WinnersBet and CrossBet. Not sure why that's saying an error there, but I do need to deposit into these accounts. So I'm going to deposit $100 into these accounts, which is, 2 units essentially. On my plan, I'm planning to use WinnersBet once. I'm planning to use CrossBet twice. So I might even deposit a little bit more into CrossBet throughout the day, because if I'm depositing $100 and then I've got two $50 bets, then there's a chance that the account hits zero. If one of those bets wins, then I've got some money in the account. But if the account hits zero, then I'm probably going to deposit another 50 maybe, so I can place a non-promo bet or two, because I do need to place some non-promo bets on those accounts. However, I'm not going to deposit $200 now, because if one of those bets wins, then I don't need to redeposit, and it looks really good if you redeposit. So I'm only going to deposit, what I actually might do is I might only deposit $50 right now for my CrossBet account. So I'm actually only going to deposit $50 into my CrossBet. So that's depositing now. Deposit CrossBet. I actually only deposited 50 in my WinnersBet. I'm only going to do the same thing as well. I'm only going to deposit $50, and then I'll place those bets. Tarapa, that obviously just went underway. I'll place those bets, and then I'll look to potentially redeposit to place non-promo bets. These are just extra little tips that you can use as well, because multiple deposits throughout the day looks really healthy for the account, and looks like that's what a mug does. Put in some money, bet it, lose it, put in some more money, bet it again, lose it. That's what a mug does. That's mug activity. So I'll do that. But either way, I'm ready to go now with CrossBet and WinnersBet. CrossBet, I wish I deposited more. CrossBet just gave me a $25 bonus credit. So that's nice. So that's another $25 bonus. Taking the piss, easy days. Anyway, what I'm going to do though, for now, because we did just get a couple of bonus bets, I'm going to bring up my Betfair, and I'm going to look to, I won't do it on Betfair. I'm going to do it on two-way Dutching. I'm going to turn over a bonus bet two-way Dutching. All right, so let's look at some sport. This is a really good website, odds.oz sports betting. You can compare all the bookies. Sometimes it's down though, but it looks like it's up and running today, which is good. Make my icon a little bit smaller. All right, I'm going to see there might be an opportunity here with the Kangaroos, which would be a really good match to turn over some bonus bets on, because it's in a couple of hours. It's Kangaroos, it's AFL, it's a main bookie, so we can see here, BetNation. I'm going to have a look. If I can get a $3.90 on BetNation, I reckon that will give me, if we go into here, so a document that's really useful is this 65% turnover guide. So we go over here. What I'm trying to do right now is turn over a bonus bet with $3. I'm going to see what sport. So if we go here, AFL, Aussie rules. So they're offering North Melbourne at $3.60 on BetNation, which is going to be tough. So we need to get 65% turnover. We need to find Geelong being offered at $1.34. So that's where this table is really useful. As we can see here, if they were offering Kangaroos at $3.90, then we'd find Geelong at $1.29 for a 65% turnover. If we go back to here, we can see that most places are offering Geelong $1.28 is the best. You can get that on PointsBet and BetRight and SportsBet. However, I'm only getting $3.60 for North, so $1.28 just isn't going to cut it because I've got $1.34. But we can go over to the calculator anyway. Imagine I'm putting a $5 bonus bet on at $3.60, and then the odds of the favorite is $1.28. I'd be getting a 56% turnover. So hasn't worked in that instance. That's fine. I will have a look at PlayUp to see, is PlayUp on here? PlayUp are offering $3.80. So I could turn over that $25 bonus bet that I just got on PlayUp at $3.80. $3.80, I need Geelong at $1.31. So it still is a bit low. If we go back to the calculator, $3.80 and $1.31, $1.28, 61%. So I could probably do that, to be honest, just because it is a $25 bonus bet, which is only half my unit size. So, you know, it's not ideal. It's not 65%, but this is the trade-off that you need to sort of juggle at times. Like if it was a $50 bonus bet, I'd be looking to really find that 65% turnover. But because it's a $25 bonus bet, you know, a 4% difference at $25 is, we can have a look at it here, $1.31. It'll mean that I guarantee myself $16.50 if I found a 66% turnover. At $1.20, at a 61% turnover, it's $15.30. So it's cost me $1.30, which obviously isn't ideal because it all adds up in the long term. However, for the purpose of this demonstration and to highlight as well, don't, you know, if you're struggling to get a 65% turnover and you need to turn over your bonus bets, it's the same as if you're doing it with Betfair on the horses and you're struggling to get 80%, you know, taking a 75% isn't the end of the world here or there, because sometimes you're going to find a 75%, sometimes you're going to find an 80, 100%, 120%, particularly for people underlaying on Betfair. So it all comes out in the wash, right? So we'll go over to my PlayUp. That bonus bet hasn't come through yet, so PlayUp are generally pretty slow. It's still in pending the bet, but that's what I'll probably look to do. The next race is, when is the next race? We go back to our plan. The next race is in 11:55, so a little while off. So it's Randwick race 2. So we do have a bit of a break now. Yeah, I'm going to look to see, so we can actually see they just gave me a $25 bonus bet. I'm going to look to see what they're offering for North Melbourne, because this might be an option. No, they're only offering $3.50, but West Coast is $7. So they're offering West Coast at $7. So if we go back to our calculator now, we've got $7 here, $1.12, 64% turnover. Perfect. I'm not even going to hesitate. I'm going to put that straight on. $25 bonus bet on West Coast. Done. That is on. That's a bonus bet with CrossBet on Sport, and that's on West Coast. And I put a $25 on at $7. Now I'm also going to place a non-promo bet where which odds I'm looking for $1.12, and PointsBet are offering me $1.12. You know what I'm actually going to do here as well is I'm going to place a non-promo bet across a number of different bookies here. So I'm going to take a slight loss, but essentially what I'm supposed to do, we can see on the calculator here, I've placed a $25 bonus bet. I'm supposed to place $133 at $1.12. I'm going to put in $1.11, and it says that I need to place $135 at $1.11 for a 60% turnover. So it is a little bit low, but what I'm going to do, this is going to be a really useful trick that you can learn from to get lots of non-promo bets across, 3 or 4 bookies. And I'm going to split that across a number of different bookies. So that way I can get a couple of non-promos on. So I'm going to split it across. But the ones that I can use, so I can definitely use a Dabble. Dabble Sport at $1.11. Non-promo, and this is on Freo. I can use PointsBet. They're offering $1.12, so I'm going to put a large part of it on the PointsBet because they're offering $1.12. So I'm going to put a greater stake there. I'll put a $60 stake there, say Freo. I'm going to put, that's also going to be Freo. I might put a $30 stake there, so that's 90 all up. I need to place 135 in total. And then what else can I do? I might just, for the sake of this demonstration, I might just put it, what's PlayUp actually? PlayUp are $1.10. I'll see what my Bet Nation are offering. because they might be offering something better. No, they're offering $1.10 as well. For the sake of this demonstration, I will just place it on BetNation and PlayUp as well, so that you can just sort of see it. And we'll go Freo here and Freo there. I'm only going to place $15 bets there though. And that's at $1.10, at $1.10. So what does that give us now? That gives us a total of 120. So I'm going to juice this up to 75. Perfect. So what I've done here, so now I've just got 4 non-promos across. So I'll go and place these bets now. And if I'll give you the full screen so we can see what's going on here. So I've put a $25 bonus on West Coast with CrossBet at $7. And then I've placed 4 non-promo bets hedging that bet across Dabble, PointsBet, BetNation, and PlayUp. And obviously, PointsBet are offering the best odds, so I'm going to put the most amount of my stake there, $75. BetNation and PlayUp are offering the shittest odds at $1.10, so I'm only going to put a smaller stake on those ones at $1.15. And then Dabble, they're offering in-between odds at $1.11, so I'll put a decent sized stake there. In total, I've placed $135, we can see down here, which is exactly what the calculator tells us we should do. So now we can see, all right, if West Coast win, then that bet wins and these bets all lose. And we can see here that we've got a total of $15 back. $15 divided by 25 is going to be, roughly 60%. And then the other way around, if Fremantle win, well, I lose that bet and I win all those, and I'm going to get $15.30 back, which is roughly 60%. So it's a little bit under, but for the purpose of this demonstration, that's not too bad. And we've just turned over a bonus bet and we've just nailed 4 non-promos in the meantime. So a really useful little trick there. So now the last thing I'll do is go and place those bets. So I'll do that now, not Discord, Dabble. Just make sure we're still on track. The next race is going to be in still 12 minutes, so still a little while to go. But what is a really good thing to do now that I've got a bit of time, is basically just go through and make sure all of your accounts are ready to go for the day. This, I cannot emphasize how useful and important this is. So throughout the day, basically at the start of the day, just go and check all your accounts, all the accounts that you plan on using for the day. Just go and check on them. Make sure they got money in them. Make sure that you've placed some non-promo bets on them. Maybe check your spreadsheet from the week before. Obviously, this is a brand new spreadsheet for me, but you can go into your advanced sustainability and you can see how many non-promo bets you've placed and how many promo bets you've placed. I've just got a brand new spreadsheet here, so your spreadsheet should have a lot more data, because at worst you've had the accounts open for two to 3 weeks and you've primed them with non-promo bets, etc. So you can go and check that. You can also use this advanced sustainability tab and you can check, all right, in the last 7 days, well, that's 57. In the last 7 days, how many non-promo bets have I placed? How many promo bets have I placed? Is there some bookies that I maybe shouldn't use today because it's just a little bit, I've used too many promos in the last couple of weeks and not enough non-promos, so maybe I have to skip it. So these are the things that you can do in between races as well to really just make your whole day just run a whole lot more effectively. And then, for instance, I'm going to go get breakfast soon. I haven't had brekkie yet, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that my accounts have money in them. And I've got my plan. I know exactly where I'm going to be placing my bets throughout the day. I'm going to go get brekkie. I'm going to take my phone with me where I'm placing my bets. As the tips come through, I'm going to put the bets on, easy as. Then I'm going to come back here, sit down, input the bets, and then readjust my plan and everything throughout the day as that progresses. But I'm going to go and deposit into this Dabble now because I need to deposit. So I'm going to deposit, we'll deposit $80. That's a reasonable amount. Deposit into that. So activity goes over here, bang, deposit, Dabble, and $80. So that's on, and I'm going to put $30 of that in at $1.11 on Freo. Sport, Australian rules. Where is it? Fremantle, yep, there, $30 is on. That bet's placed. Beautiful. All right, so that's the first one. Now, PointsBet. Go over to my PointsBet. We already had a look, so I already got plenty of money in this PointsBet account. $75 at $1.12 for Freo. Bang, there it is, 50, 75, place bet, confirm bet. That's done, that's on. Non-promo Bet Nation, so that's good. I deposited into that this morning already. So Fremantle there, I'm going to place a $15 bet on them. Stake $15, place bet, confirm, bet place, done, and then play up as well. So the good thing is because these bookies are the bookies already opened up and got ready to go this morning, deposited into them if I needed to. All of this process, like it takes, what's this taking? A whole minute, I suppose. Confirm, is that confirmed? Yep. There we go, all those bets on. So I've turned over the bonus bet. I've just got 4 non-promo bets on as well. Awesome. I think one of the biggest problems and one of the biggest reasons why people struggle with their non-promos, for particularly people that aren't Platinum Squad members, but once again, if you're not a Platinum Squad member, I'm not going to keep repeating it. If you don't want to pay, you're not going to grow, you're not going to profit. It's as simple as that. We're sick of, to be honest, we're sick of people that are trying to do this on the cheap. Like at the end of the day, this game is easy if you make it easy for yourself. And one way you can make it easy for yourself is by spending money instead of your time and energy. Because you'll spend your time and energy, you'll get your accounts banned, you won't make any money, you'll wonder, what the fuck, this is a scam, it doesn't work, and you won't make any money. So, whatever. But anyway, as I was saying, went off topic there. If you're doing them on your phone, you can only have one market up at a time. It's so much easier if you have 6 markets up because you can spot the opportunities. And now what I'm going to quickly do is I'm just going to quickly run through my plan and just make sure that all my bookies that I plan on using throughout the day have money in them. So I'm going to go and deposit if I have to, and then so I know, and I'm going to load the app and everything as well, because if you've closed the app, some of them take a while, particularly because I haven't followed for a little while. Some of these bookies, I need to actually update their apps and stuff like that, and all this shit. This is how you miss tips. Yeah, this just makes your life that little bit more difficult if you've got to do this 1 minute before the race, etc. So that's that done. Gonna get BoomBet. I need to deposit some money into my BoomBet account as well, so I'll go and quickly deposit. SwiftBet, need to deposit into my SwiftBet. I'll put 150 into my SwiftBet because I think I plan on using SwiftBet twice, so they're going to be 2 $50 bets, and then I'll worst case have another $50 in there that I can non-promo bet. You could just deposit only 50 if you wanted to, and then if that bet loses, deposit again. If that bet loses, deposit again. That looks really good. Obviously, that's what a mug does. But because I want to prioritize efficiency a little bit, if I deposit only 50, then I need to remember to deposit another 50 if that bet loses. I don't want to put myself in that position, so I'm just going to make sure that I have enough for today. So I'm going to deposit 150. That's for two promo bets and 1 non-promo bet at worst. And then if I need to place another non-promo bet, then I'll deposit more. But worst case scenario, I'm going to be able to follow the horse system with my SwiftBet account if I deposit 150. Obviously, before I went a bit of a different approach with my cross bet, and my winners bet. Definitely my cross bet. But you can sort of just juggle these tactics and see what works for you. The more you do it. Hey guys, sorry to cut in again, but I want to reward everyone who has got this far in the vlog. So for the competition, to be eligible, make sure you input the word profit, all in capital letters, capital PROFIT in your response. All capitals, do it subtly, do it so that it's not obvious. Essentially, I'm just trying to remove everyone who is taking shortcuts with this competition and doesn't actually watch the vlog and potentially uses your answers to formulate their own answer. They obviously won't have seen this part, so they won't have known to put capital profit, all capitals in the answer. Do that. You need to do that to be eligible for the competition. Well done getting this far. Back to the vlog. The next tip has just come through, Randwick Race 2. And we plan on using winners bet and cross bet. So I'm going to go over to winners bet, and I have $50 in that account. So what I'm actually going to do here, this is a bit of I won't actually. So Randwick Race 2, we are betting on I'm a Rich Girl. That was a bit of a tricky one to say. So that bet's on, confirm, bet is on, perfect. So that bet is on. We'll go over to the spreadsheet. Promo bet on, winners bet, racing. Is it the system? Yes, it is. $50, and I got that at $3.80. All right. And now we go back to our plan. So now we can see obviously cross bet didn't get used, so we take that off. So now I can potentially sub out, I've only planned to use one cross bet now. I reckon I'm going to sub out one of the play ups. I'll sub out one of the blue bets and find blue bet or play up and sub that out and input a cross bet somewhere later in the day now, just to start to even that spread out a little bit. So where can I use, where to cross bet and play up and blue bet? Randwick race 3. Do I have one there? Play up, perfect. So I'm going to put cross bet in there. So Randwick race 3, I'm not going to use that play up bet anymore. I'm going to sub that out and use cross bet, and that takes my play up count down to 5 now, which is better. Still probably want to get that down one more at least. Blue bet, I want to get down a couple. Bet M, I want to get down 1, and sports bet and tab, I want to get down a couple as well. But obviously, as the day progresses and we skip more races, there's going to present more opportunities to do that. Obviously, we can see so far that on the plan, we've planned to outlay 4 units so far, and in total, we've outlaid 1.5 units. So, yeah, this is why we put the plan in place, but obviously, as the day progresses, we want to be changing it around so that we're not abusing any individual bookie, and we're spreading our bets across as many bookies and as diversely as possible. So I don't normally really care about watching the races. I will here anyway. But honestly, if you're someone who is struggling with any emotion with following the horse system, the best advice I think that I can give you, now this is just speaking personally, is don't watch the races. Simple as that. Do not watch the races. It is amazing. That was Randwick. So I don't know where we finished. There we go. I wasn't even watching the race. I have no emotion. Because I didn't watch that race, I have no emotion. I wasn't watching the horse round the bend and be like, oh, it's in a good spot, it's in a shit spot, hopefully it kicks. I didn't watch the race, so I don't care. So I'm literally just going to go into the spreadsheet now. I've got it there, and that simply just lost. So we just put a 2 for a loss there. Done. It's as simple as that. If you're finding that emotions are getting the better of you, you're getting frustrated, literally do not watch the race. It's amazing the difference it makes. You just simply plug in the numbers, plug in if it wins, plug in if it loses. You can check the result just so that you can plug in the right data, or you can just go into Discord, and Discord will generally tell you if there's a winner or not. Someone's always asking, generally speaking, did that horse bonus or did it hit a bonus? If it wins, because people will write the odds that they get if it loses. Whatever, you can check on your Sportsbet app to see if it loses or whatever. But don't watch the races. It helps a lot with emotions. All right, so now the next race is going to be in 4 minutes at Doomben, and we're going to be using Blue Bet, and we're going to be using Mint Bet. So tips come through. 2 units on Save the Dream. So I'm using a Mint Bet back on that one. Oh, hang on. Almost did a boost. Bet return, 50. Oh, $50. That's on. Sport racing, now go over to my Blue Bet. Where is it? Doomben. Where is it? There it is. There it is. And that is on there. Perfect. So those bets are on. Now I'll go over to my spreadsheet. A couple more promo bets. We've got Mint Bet Racing, $50 at $2.40 I got there, and Blue Bet Racing, 50 at $2.45. Perfect. Now let's see if I can get the race on the screen. There we go. And then obviously we can see Caulfield in 6 minutes. This is one of the other benefits of, I guess, having the races up, is that you can see, when the next race is and how many minutes you got. So obviously Caulfield race 1 is ready to go then, and we're going to be using SwiftBet and Tab. So I'm going to get those accounts basically ready to go right now. Once again, I don't really care about what's going on in the race. I'm preparing myself for the next race while this race is going. I'd even look at potentially opening up Betfair or looking to two-way Dutch some bonus bets or get some non-promo bets on the races in between. I know there's a race in between this one and Caulfield. So there's an opportunity to do some non-promo bets. Obviously, I've got a fair bit going on today, so I will try and look at getting some non-promo bets on as well. But I'm just preparing for Caulfield, loading up the app, making sure it's all ready to go for now. Number 2 we're on, which is in the green. It looks like it's the leader at the moment, but I wouldn't say it's exactly home. This Bala Khadija dude looks pretty good. So that's a bonus return. So go over to here, and that is bonus and bonus. Yeah, so it's Seoul is the race in between, so I'm not going to be placing any non-promo bets on that. But if we have a quick look here, now we can see over here, we can see, we can instantly see where our bonuses are. We've got 50 in BetNation, 50 in Bluebet, 50 in MintBet, 50 in PlayUp. Obviously that 50 in, or 25 in PlayUp. Obviously that 50 in Bluebet is not a bonus bet because that's 50% cash back. So the way to do that, the way to input that into the spreadsheet, go over here, go bonus, Bluebet. You can do this on whatever, it doesn't matter. I forgot to tick those system. 50, $2. It's not going to be $2 though, is it? No, it's not. It's going to be $1.50. So that's the way that I like to input it. So you can just go, there's probably a number of ways you can do it. It doesn't really matter. But just input a bonus with Bluebet, $50 stake at $1.50 odds, and at 1, you get $25 back. So that's the way that we can basically input into the spreadsheet that Bluebet way, that Bluebet promotion, I suppose. And now we go back to our plan. We are looking at Caulfield, Race 1, SwiftBet and Tab. So they're ready to go. Got those apps open. There it is, Caulfield, Race 1, number 5, Iron Velvet. So I'm actually going to, there we go, no more tips. What I was going to do is I was actually going to place that bet on SwiftBet first, just because I had a suspicion that there was only going to be one tip in that race, and I know that I need to save some Tab. I need to, I've got a fair bit. If we look at our plan, I've got a fair bit on Tab already. And so I'm going to place the SwiftBet bet first, and then the Tab bet second, if there is a second tip. But because I, had a sneaky suspicion there was only going to be one tip in that race, then I was just going to place the SwiftBet bet first because I need to save on Tab later. Hopefully that makes sense. But anyway, 50 on Iron Velvet. That bet is on. And then we go back to our plan as well. We remove Tab. So Tab no longer. We can see obviously that takes Tab down to 6. So probably still want to get one more off Tab throughout the day. But as you can see, the numbers are very quickly becoming coming down to a much more manageable level. Go over here, we'll input that bet now. Promo bet on SwiftBet Racing. It is the system, 50 at $3.40. And now we simply wait. If we have a look over here, what I like to do to keep track of this is I like to lead in the time as well, just to know where we're up to. So 12:10, so 12:30 is the next race at Caulfield. So there's about a 20-minute break there. So I'm actually going to go and get some breakfast or lunch, call it what you will, in this 20-minute break. I know that I'm going to be placing a bet with SwiftBet, CrossBet and SportsBet in the next at Randwick. So I'm going to prepare those apps, have them ready to go. So I'm going to go get a coffee, go get something to eat. And as those tips come through, I can basically put those bets on. Obviously, I'm not going to be on camera, so there'll be probably a little bit of a break until the next, I guess, time I'm back on camera. But what I will do for Randwick Race 3, we'll see here that I've got SwiftBet, CrossBet and SportsBet planned. I'm going to swap this around and do SportsBet, CrossBet and SwiftBet. So If there is only one unit, I'm only going to use my sports bet. If there's two, I'm going to use sports betting cross bet. And then if there is a third unit, then I'll use my Swift bet. But just because I've used Swift bet already the race before, so, just for a bit of defensive sustainability, I'm going to sort of prepare that all three units won't get outlaid, if that makes sense. And if that does happen, then I don't want to use my Swift bet. Rather than having to rearrange after the fact, I'm almost rearranging before the fact in preparation. But what are we on here? We're on number 5, Iron Velvet in the yellow. I'll keep the camera on for this. Doesn't really matter. Actually, you know what? Who cares? It's just a race. I'm going to turn the camera off for now. And I'll probably next be back after. I'll probably do the next 3 races or so. I'll do off camera, and then I'll turn the camera back on, and we can sort of see where my plan is sitting at. All right, so I was just about to head out, and I've just noticed that my CrossBet is offering. I've got promos for my CrossBet. I've got them at Caulfield. So on the promo list, it says Randwick. We can see CrossBet here, Randwick, but not at Caulfield. So this is, I guess, this is the thing with the way that the bookies are changing, is that they offer different promos to different customers, essentially, which means that whilst the promo list is a very good guide, and there's a lot of time and effort that goes into the promo list to tell you which bookies are offering promos where, at the end of the day, it's still recommended that you double check yourself to make sure that you have promos on that account, because some bookies offer account exclusive promos. For instance, I know that I don't have a Ladbrokes that is offering me promos, so I'm not going to bother. So I'm not just going to instantly assume just because there's Ladbrokes on the promo list for that race, I'm going to have promos with Ladbrokes on that race. Now, CrossBet, they offer account exclusive promos as well. They've actually offered on my account promos at Caulfield. So whilst the promo list does say it's at Randwick, that's generally speaking where most people have it probably. However, for me, it's Caulfield. So I'm glad I did double check that. It just means that I need to now go through and double check and swap over a few things in my plan. So as we can see, I plan to use CrossBet Randwick Race 3. I'm going to take that off and I'm going to swap it because I do have it at Caulfield. So I'm going to swap it with a BetNation here for Caulfield. So I'm going to put CrossBet there and I'm going to swap that over to BetNation there. Okay, where else am I planning to use CrossBet? I'll just do a quick Command F, and I plan on using CrossBet in Randwick Race 4 as well. That's obviously not going to work, so I'm going to swap that with Caulfield Race 3, and I'm going to swap that with Sportsbet. And then over here, I'm going to put CrossBet over there as my last bet, potentially. And we'll just make sure that CrossBet... Yeah, so there we go. So now I've made the changes in my plan. This is the beauty of having the plan, is that it's so easy to make the changes. It took me 30 seconds to do that. However, if you don't have the plan, then you go into a frenzy. You're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So there we go. Now I know Randwick Race 3. It's now in 10 minutes. I'm going to be using Sportsbet, BetNation, and SwiftBet for those ones. For Doomben Race 2, I'm going to be using Tab and BoomBet. And for Caulfield Race 2, I'm going to be using Sportsbet, CrossBet, and Dabble. So, just going to get some brekkie. Couple of bacon egg muffins. So, got my phone here. Going to place some bets. Obviously, I know I'm using Sportsbet, BetNation, and SwiftBet, I believe so. And we've got Caulfield, Randwick Race 3. Tips are about to come through now. It's 12:28. So, getting ready to go. I'm going to open up. Yeah, got that. Got Sportsbet at BetNation there ready to go. Now just waiting for the tips to come through. I'm going to open up the race as well just to give myself some extra time. There we go. You can see the tips about to be sent any second now. November Falls 2 units, there we go. So the notification didn't come through, that's annoying. There we go, bet return, that's on, stake, that's on. No more tips. All right, so I'm back in the work site. Got my coffee, had a bit of a feed, which was nice, and now I'm going to go and fix up my spreadsheet and fix up my plan for what's just happened. So Randwick race 3, we had 2 units on November Falls. I placed that on Sportsbet and Bet Nation. I did not place a bet on SwiftBet. Doomben race 2, Madamo Detmore Trouble, that was on Tab and Boombet. Caulfield race 2, I went half a unit on Sportsbet and I went half a unit on Dabble for those half units there. And obviously I did not place a bet on CrossBet there, so it doesn't really matter which way I do that. There we go. Now let's go and input those bets. All right, so 27th promo, and that was for November Falls. Who was that with? I placed those with Sportsbet and Bet Nation. Sportsbet, Bet Nation, Racing, 50-50. I think that was about 330 from memory I got, and it doesn't really matter because they both lost anyway. And then the next bets were Madamo Det, that was on Tab, and then More Trouble, that was on Boombet. I used a bet back there. That was $50, and Tab, Madamo Det, I got $3, I believe, and it was $3.10 for More Trouble. Madamo Det won, More Trouble lost, that's a 2. And then Caulfield race 2, I had a promo on Dabble, Racing 25, and Band of Brothers. What were the odds that I got? Band of Brothers. What odds was Band of Brothers? Band of Brothers was about 320 or 330, I think I got it at. And then also 330. Once again, it doesn't really matter because I didn't even, and then Sportsbet was the second one, that's right. Oop. Activity in, Sportsbet, Racing 25, and then Dabble was a refund, and then Sportsbet was a bonus bet back, so I'll chuck bonus in there. So Dabble doing it, so we can use the refund feature there, which is always nice for Dabble. Oh, Sports Champs, that's not right. All right, now, so we can see what our day is looking like so far. We have now got Tab down at 6, Sportsbet still at 7, Play Up at 5, Bluebet at 6, BetM at 5, Bet Nation at 4, and then 1s and 2s across the board. So we could probably find a spot for CrossBet. So I might try and find to use CrossBet and SwiftBet somewhere else now because we did not use a CrossBet and we did not use a SwiftBet in that last batch of races. So where are we at now? We have currently gone down to the next race being Randwick 105. Randwick, always struggle to say that. 105 is the next race there. Now I'm going to Randwick, it's in my head now. Randwick 105, I'm going to look at, what was I trying to do there? Oh, my plan. I want to add a SwiftBet and a CrossBet in where I can. So I think later in the day, I can definitely look to use a SwiftBet later in the day, which is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to use a SwiftBet on Caulfield Race 8 and take off a BetM. So that can go straight there. Oop. That's nice. And I want to add in a CrossBet. I've got CrossBet at Caulfield, remember, although the promo list says Randwick, for me it's Caulfield. So for a Caulfield race, 1 to 6 I believe it is, I am going to look at adding in a CrossBet somewhere else so I can use 2 on the day. And Caulfield, where can I do it? I can probably take one off here, maybe a Play Up, maybe a Bluebet, probably a Bluebet, maybe a Sportsbet somewhere as well. I've already got CrossBet on this race, so I probably can't use it there. What I'm actually going to do though is I'm going to swap this CrossBet here as my bet 2. And hang on, what was that for? That was for a Bluebet. And I'm going to put Bluebet here. And the reason I've done that is because I've got Play Up as my bet 1, CrossBet as my bet 2, Dabble as my bet 3. I'm actually probably going to be placing my Dabble bet almost first because that's only $25. And then I've got Bluebet as my 4th bet to cover that final $25 because all up it's a 3-unit race. I'm going to need to outlay in total $150, sorry. So I've got 50, 100, 125, and then obviously 175, but I'm only going to need to be placing 25 on that Bluebet. So that sort of minimizes Bluebet a little bit there. And I can still use a CrossBet somewhere else. So I'm still going to try and find somewhere else for a CrossBet. Play up tab, mint bet there. Caulfield race 5, Caulfield race 6. There we go, perfect. Cross bet can go there. Take one off a sports bet. And now we're starting to get into a bit of a better position, a pretty comfortable position. Probably still one too many on blue bet. Definitely still one too many on blue bet. Probably almost two too many on blue bet. Play up, I'd like to get one less on play up. If I can get 4 on blue bet, 4 on play up. And then I'm pretty comfortable with sports bet and tab being at sort of 6, 5. I reckon I'll be able to get them down to 5. Then I think that'll probably be roughly where the day ends up. Obviously, I removed one off the BetM before. That was sitting at 5. So now we're getting into a bit of a healthier position. So at the start of the day, obviously we had 7s here. Now we got 6s at the worst, and you know everything's starting to look a little bit cleaner. And obviously, you know, as the day continues to progress, we're going to have more skips. So Randwick race 4 is about to hit. We've got Sportsbet, Play Up, and Bluebet ready to go. So I'm going to get those accounts ready to go now. Sportsbet, Randwick Race 4, there we go. I've opened that up. Play Up now, I'll open up Play Up. There we go, you can see Play Up's got that bonus cash. It's always good to double check. I remember I was due a bonus bet there. I was owed a bonus bet there. So I've got Randwick Race, is it Race 4 or Race 3? Yeah, Randwick Race 4. What do we got here? We got 8 runners in this field, do we? Yep. And then the last one I wanted to use is Bluebet. So I'll also get Bluebet ready to go. There we go. So now that they're the last 3 apps that I've opened up, it's easy to just swipe across all 3. Now we just simply wait for the tips to come through. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. See what the Discord is doing. No real chat in the Discord or in the Saturday, Wednesday chat anyway. First tips come through. Masquerade, 2 units. Perfect. I'm just going to place it with Bluebet here because it's the first one that's opened. I'm going to check between, so PlayUp's offering 240 and Sportsbet are offering, what are they offering? 230, 240 as well. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to go in with PlayUp anyway. $50 on there. So that's on now. So I've placed 2 bets, both with Bluebet and PlayUp. Now I got my sports bet open, ready to go. Just basically waiting for that tip to come through. You can see here that because I've planned, because I've prepared, I've got my daily plan out, and I'm already ready to go with all my bookies. No more tips, done, easy does it. See you later, put the phone away, go over to my activity, bang, 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 promo on. What did I have? I had a blue bet, I had a play up, racing, $50, $50. I think they were both at 240 I got. Easy, back to my plan, and I'm going to remove Sportsbet from my plan, and now we'll see Sportsbet is down to 5. So bets are on. What's the next race? While this race is on, I'm going to prepare for the next race. So obviously the next race is Doomben at 1:13. So we've got about 7 minutes there. Tab and Bluebet are the bookies that I'm going to use there. So I'm just going to open up my phone now. I've got Bluebet there. I've got Tab here. I'm going to get those apps ready to go. And I'm potentially going to now start thinking about, all right, do I have time to get some non-promo bets, start turning over some bonus bets? This is definitely a perfect opportunity now. As the day has really started to get sort of into the swing of things, I suppose. You know, I'm in a bit of a groove now. The plan's starting to shape out. I don't really have to stress too much about my defense and sustainability. I'm happy with my bookie coverage. Now I'm going to shift my focus and start focusing on, all right, bonus turnover, non-promos. Let's start getting them on in between the races as well. Nah. Got pipped. Who was that? 1A. So back to the spreadsheet. Chuck in bonus. All right. Doomben race 3, what do we got here? We got Tab and Bluebet. Oh, yep. Already got the apps ready to go. Just waiting for the tips to come through now. Oh, Doomben race 3 already has the inflictor. Here we go. 50 on. Done. Obviously, I sort of touched on it earlier. You know, $50 unit sizes are for people who are experienced. You've got advanced defense and sustainability understanding. You have to be a platinum member if you're trying to match bet these days following on $50 unit sizes and you don't understand what you're doing. You don't understand defense. You don't understand sustainability. You're not in amongst the community. You're going to get burnt. Like, people think we say this because we're trying to sell you to platinum and get some money out of you or whatever. Like, of course, that's how our business operates. We proudly operate that way. You know, we change lives. We teach people what they need to do to be able to match bet. If you don't want to listen to us because you think that we're going to gain from it, then just give up now. Honestly, give up now. Reality is you need to understand, you need to know what you're doing. The bookies aren't dumb. They know that we do this. You have to be with the elite if you're going to be able to beat the bookies. It's as simple as that. So for people that are watching this going, fuck it, I'm going to start following on a $50 unit size. If you've just started, you don't understand defense, sustainability, you don't understand the ins and outs of match betting, following the horse system, do not bother. $10 unit size max, speak to your coach and get some guidance there. But honestly, if you're thinking about upskilling or you're unsure whether you want to get into platinum or you're unsure whether you want to get into the horse system, honestly, just do it properly. Invest, upskill, learn, and I guarantee you in 12 months, it'll take care of itself. Sorry guys, this will be the last time I cut in, I promise. So if you want to learn more about what we do, learn more about match betting, the horse system, Platinum Squad, or you're just seeing this stuff for the first time and you want to learn what match betting is, head over to our brand new website. There's a free course there that you can learn, obviously for free. There's also more information about the horse system, about Platinum Squad, so you can get some more information about the opportunities available in this space. Anyway, back to Doomben Race 3. Anyway, the next, it was no more tips after the inflictor. So we've only got one unit. Obviously, we can see it has jumped. So I'll go back to my plan. I can take tab off that plan now. Go into activity. I'll put a promo. Oh no, sorry. I'll take blue bet off that plan. So I did have tab. I placed the bet with tab. Blue bet's off. Tab racing 50. I had the inflictor at 320. Let's run this red. Is it going to hold on? We might get pipped at the post again. It's going to be tight. And it has just held on. Once again, it's actually crazy. I can, people might not believe this, but we feel emotion. As stupid as that sounds, of course we do. We're fucking humans. We definitely feel emotions. We obviously talk about and repeat and probably annoy the living shit out of so many of you talking about, don't worry about your emotions, don't feel this, don't do that, just act robotic, monotonous, just rinse and repeat, don't feel anything. Now, obviously we feel things, and me just watching that race right there, I could feel myself over the last few years of training myself to become very aware of when I'm getting emotional, when I need to really, make sure I'm behaving systematically and not with my emotions. I've become very aware of my own emotions because of it. And right there watching that race just then, I could literally feel my blood boil a little bit, feel myself get a little bit like tingly watching that race as the horses were coming, almost pipping the horse that we had. That is emotion right there. I can feel that. I know I'm not going to act any differently. I know I'm going to go and place these bets and input into my spreadsheet and get my non-promo bets on and turn over my bonus bets. I know I'm not going to do anything differently. However, I still feel those emotions. And being aware of them, I think, is really useful, because the more you're aware of them, the more you then know that, all right, I might be susceptible to behaving slightly differently because I'm feeling emotional. And so therefore I need to be super focused and super zoned in on what do I need to do that is unemotional, that is robotic, that is what is in line with, what is going to take me to my long-term goals. So, bit of a random rant, but it's interesting. Watching that race, I feel it. However, I haven't watched, that's probably the first race where I've actually sat and really watched today, the last two races, and that's the most emotional I've felt. That's the most I've felt my body react to what's on the screen. Whereas I didn't have any of those reactions earlier in the day because I simply didn't watch the races, which goes back to what I was saying before. If you're feeling emotional, you feel yourself like getting angry or frustrated or tense or you feel that like tightness, your neck tightening up, your back tightening up, maybe it's your shoulders. Everyone holds their stress and their emotions in different areas. The more you feel that, just turn the TV off, don't worry about it, put it into the spreadsheet, just numbers, and let the profits accumulate over time. All right, Caulfield, race 3 in 2 minutes. Back to my plan. What do we got here? Caulfield, race 3. We got 3 units planned here. So I do need to prepare a little bit here. So double. We've got a double betting racing. So we got Caulfield, race 3. So a copy bet, cash back to $25. Always use those. They're a no-brainer. It's 100% basically 100% bonus return, only to $25, but it's 100%. So I got double ready. I need to get play up ready. And I need to get blue bet ready. Obviously, blue bet is my last option here, my last priority. And then I also need to get cross bet ready at the same time. So as you can see here, I've got cross bet offering $2.50. And here we go, Captain Electric, 2 units. Perfect. So I'm going to do one with play up and Fats 1 unit. So we've outlaid a full 3 unit here. We've got 36 seconds, Captain Electric, $50 on. I'm going to place, on my cross bet, I'm going to place it on Fats because it's offering 320. Activity, I need to find a copy bet here for Captain Electric, yep, 25. And then blue bet, Captain Electric, 25. There we go, so all of those bets are on. So even still, like I think there was probably, I would say maybe 40 seconds from the first tip to come through then, and the race has just jumped then, and I've placed 4 bets, and I probably still had about a 10-second gap there. So if you're prepared, yes, sometimes the tips are a bit tight, close to the jump, but if you're prepared, you know, you should never miss a tip, generally speaking. But we'll go over to our spreadsheet now. We got 4 bets on. We got promo. We went play up. We went, where else did we go? We went play up, we went cross bet, we went dabble, and we went blue bet. And we went 50 on play up, 1 unit on play up, 1 unit on cross bet. That was on Fats at 320, I believe. I think I got 270 on play up. That was a little bit short. Dabble gave me 290 at 25. And blue bet, what did blue bet give me? They gave me 290 as well at 25. So that was Captain Electric. So you can just sort of see the notes that I'm putting in. It doesn't really matter. This whole column it's just to help yourself track the bets. For instance, it's good for this one. If I didn't have West Coast and Freo there and I had those bets and I had no result in there and I'm like, fuck, what were those bets? I have to open up the app, check what the bets were to see whether or not which one won. Whereas this way, it's like I can just check the result of the game and I just know, all right, yeah, West Coast won, bang, that one wins. Obviously, those ones lose, or obviously vice versa. But so we've got a bit of a break after this. Good opportunity, non-promo bets, bonus turnover. I might look to turn over some bonus bets, but we'll sit back and enjoy the next sort of 20 seconds as this race eventuates. We've got Fats leading, Captain Electric number 5 in the pink, going around 3 wide. I'm not too sure if it's been 3 wide the journey. Captain Electric looks to be cruising though. Can Fats hold on for a bonus? That would be the ultimate result if Fat holds on, and he does. Very nice. So we've gone a winner on Captain Electric, a bonus on Fats, a winner on Captain Electric, and a winner on Captain Electric. I reckon let's open up the Discord. I reckon the Discord might enjoy that one. Big 2 litre. 7-seater Peter. Maybe not. Discord's asleep, I think. No one cares anymore. There we go, there's one. Yeah, this is actually, we've sort of been joking a little bit. Yeah, JP and Tom have been joking a little bit that no one actually cares in the Discord anymore. But the joke is actually, it's grouse that no one cares. Because it's who cares? Like, it's a winner. Big deal. What does one win do? Means fuck all, really. Much like one loss means fuck all. People are just going about their business, just plugging along, putting bets on, knowing in the long term it's going to profit. That's what we want to do. That's what we want to build, and that's the culture that leads to success. Anyway, I better quickly get these bets on. We got Farrago 1.5. All right, this is going to be an interesting one. So this is really good to watch. So we got Farrago 50 on, 50 on. 50 on Matron Bullwinkle as well. Where is that? What number is Matron? 350. All right, so this is a bit of a tricky one. This is as hard as we'll get. Now I need to find 2 half units. So I've got play up and tab. Now I'm going to place a mint bet on select toolkit, Gallup's return, 25. And now I need another half unit on another bookie here. So where are we at? We're at Caulfield Race 4. I'm going to get my spreadsheet up. Caulfield Race 4, Bet M. I'm just going to do Bet M because I haven't used a Bet M yet, and I know I've taken a few off. I need to place a half unit here on. Oh, this is going to get me to log in, so that's probably not ideal. You know what? I'll just do Blue Bet for now because I know that's open. It's going to be tight, but this is the benefit of I've gone Farrago half, so I only need to go a half unit here on Matron Bullwinkle when it loads. I think I've missed it. So that is my fault. I missed an extra half unit there, is what it is. I should have been prepared. I was gas bagging, and that's literally right there why you need to be more prepared. Yes, I've prepared a little bit, but I didn't prepare the Bet M. Had I not had to log into Bet M, I would have been able to get that half unit on. Because I was a little bit unprepared, it meant that I had to stuff around. I had to log into Bet M. Had I already opened up the app earlier in today, like let's have a look at my Bet M account now anyway. I don't even reckon there's money in here, so I'd have to deposit. There you go, I would have had to deposit anyway, so I'm going to do that now anyway. I'll put 150 in. That's where, had I been properly prepared, I hadn't used Bet M throughout the day yet. I'd planned to, but I'd kept skipping them, and then I'm using them later in the day. And because of that, it meant that I was a little bit unprepared, and it meant that I wasn't ready to go where, you know, two 1.5 unit plays for a $50 unit size. For people on a $30 unit size or less, that's fine, because that's just two $45 bets. For a $50 unit size, that's two $75 bets, which means you have to place 2 bets for each 1.5 unit play, a 50 and a 25 and a 50 and a 25. Alternatively, you could have gone a 40 and a 35, 40 and a 35, whatever. I was obviously a little bit slow, so I missed the extra half unit on Matron Bullwinkle. So be it. I'm not that fussed, you know. Whatever happens here. I'm just going to go back to the spreadsheet and continue to follow the process. I've got to remember where I put the bets on there. I had a bet on with Tab. Tab was Farrago. I had a play up bet. I had a mint bet. 50, 50, and 25. Tab was Farrago at 310. Play up 350. And mint bet was 290 for Farrago. Farrago's leading, but is it going to get there? It is. So Matron Bullwinkle finished. No idea. Didn't even watch the race. Matron. So luckily, I got a little bit lucky there. That just all came out in the wash. Obviously, I missed that extra half unit play on Matron Bullwinkle, and you know it finished 4th or wherever it finished. So I saved myself. Came out in the wash. That's all part of the game. But Farrago won 50 at 320, that won there. We'll go back to our plan. We did play up, tab, and mint bet, so that stayed the same there. The next race is Randwick, race 6 at 4:15, and we're looking pretty solid now. In terms of bookie spread, play up 5, tab 6, and sports bet 5. They're the only ones that are looking really dangerous now. Nothing to worry too much about there. I've turned over all my bonus bets, except for cross bet. I have a sneaky suspicion that I might be promo banned on this account. That's why the bonus hasn't come through. Who knows? I didn't think I was promo banned on the account. we'll see what happens. We'll see if it comes through. It might come through later in the day. They definitely were offering promos. I definitely had the coins, so it is what it is. But we'll have a bit of a break. I'm going to go have a bit of a breather. Got a bit of a headache from talking too much. Sick of hearing the sound of my own voice. Tijuana, we're going Tijuana. I think that'll be the only tip. No more tips, correct. So 50, where else did I have potential? This is Randwick Race 6, Sportsbet tab. I'm going to have a look at BetM. Because BetM typically have shitter odds. So if I can get a reasonably, Tijuana, so I'm going to take that. I have a feeling this might just be $25 though. It might be, let's have a look. It is only $25, so I need to take that into consideration. BetM are only $25. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that to 20. I'm going to take Tijuana at 25. Oh, it's gone to 36 now anyway. $3.60, I mean. Come in a little bit. All right, so that's on. So promo, Sportsbet racing, yes. How do I tick that? I think I gotta do true. There we go. All right, I just realised, so my BetM is only $25, so I need to take this into consideration. 25. Randwick Race 9. Fuck me, what is wrong with me? Randwick Race 8. I'm gonna need to do. I need to cover something there. Caulfield Race 7. Where's Caulfield Race 7? Better, yep. So ideally, on all these BetMs, I'm just going to cover the other 25 with Better. Randwick Race 10. That's going to have to be, I think, a Swift bet. Caulfield Race 8 will be Swift bet. So now I'm going to do BetM there, and I'm going to do Better there. There we go. Randwick Race 9. Caulfield Race 7, what I'm going to do for Caulfield Race 7, I'm going to do BetM there and Better, and then I'm going to cover that, I'm going to do a Palmer bet there, get 25. Why is that not coming through? Oh, Palmer bet. Randwick Race 7. So I probably need to get rid of this cross bet too as well. Caulfield Race 6. Need to cover this cross bet. I'm going to go that. I'm going to go with BetM, or Better and BetM. Randwick Race 7. Sportsbet and BetM, and I'm going to have to go Bet Nation 25. So these are the things that you need to, obviously because I've been a little bit out of the game, I sort of forgot to consider that BetM is only $25 bet back. Obviously next week I won't make that same mistake, but it's meant I still, with this plan, I can just easily readjust anyway. So what do we got here? We got some random horse here winning. Looks like we're going to finish third. Tijuana finished third. Bonus there. All right, let's see what that has done to my plan now, though. So we've got five. We've got a fair few on BetM, though. So that's obviously a bit of an issue. But obviously we're still going to have some races that get skipped and stuff. Bet Nation 5. If we can use BetR's 4, that's probably a little bit risky to use that many BetR's. But that's fine. Blue bet, we could probably add one more to Sportsbet where I can. Caulfield Race 6, what do we got there? We can probably just go off BetM there and just go with Sportsbet. There we go. That makes it a little bit nicer. 5 on BetM, 3 on BetR. I like that. That's a pretty good spread now. I'm pretty happy with that. Obviously, need to start getting some non-promos on. Anyway, Doomben Race 5, the next race is in. What am I planning to do here? Doomben Race 5 is a 1-unit play. We're using tab here. I think the tip just came through. It has Flying Trapeze. Let's go. Easy. Bang, 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 bang. Promo on a tab, racing. Is it a system? Yes, it is. Oop. How did I do it? True. Yeah. 50, $2.40 I think for Flying Trapeze there. Number 8, it's going out 3 wide, is it? It's fighting for it. It's getting made to work. Maybe it isn't through it. No, it's gonna be sitting in a pretty nice position there, but who gives a shit anyway? Let's move on to the next race, Caulfield. So what are we doing at Caulfield? Doomben Race 5 done. Caulfield, we got Play Up and Blue Bets. Play Up. Caulfield Race 5. Bang and Blue Bet. Caulfield. So we got those 2 races ready to go now. What are we on here? Flying Trapeze. Doesn't look like it's going to win. Oh, it might. Oh, it's finding a bit. The Trapeze Artist. Geez, the one outsider is pushing it, but I think it's going to get there. Wow. The old reverse Moz. So, chuck that in. Nice. One thing, I'll get this rant quick. One thing I just found myself, I noticed that I just looked at my profit for the day. More so just out of curiosity, but it purely is out of curiosity. I'm more just like, oh, I wonder what's been happening. I actually have not taken any note of how many winners we've had, how many bonuses we've had, how many losses we've had. Everything is just get back to the process. And obviously we talk about, don't worry about it, control what you can control. Who cares about the results? It's so much easier said than done, I guarantee it. But hopefully you watching me doing this, you buy into that, we genuinely believe this. I'm not worried. It's simply go and put the result in, win, lose, draw, bonus, fucking whatever, and just get on to what can I do next? Non-promo, bonus, what do I need to do next to ensure that I can keep doing this in the long term? The profit will take care of itself. I honestly have no idea how much units profit we're up. Absolutely none. Literally got no idea. And I simply do not care because the only thing I care about is the next bet that I need to place. So hopefully you enjoyed that, guys. Feel free to offer any comments or feedback in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Once again, don't forget to enter the competition as well to potentially win $500. There'll be some 2nd or 3rd place prizes potentially as well, depending on how good the comments are that we get for the competition. If you are watching this and the competition has finished, we've already announced the winners. Still go and read the comments and still feel free to enter into the competition as well. Obviously, you're not going to be able to win, but it is really good to reflect yourself on your own mistakes and also share information with the community and let other people learn from you as well. Ultimately, learning from a community is critical and one of the best and fastest ways that you can speed up your progression and guarantee success for yourself. That's the value of community. For Platinum Squad members, make sure you go and check out part 2 of this vlog, which will be in the Platinum Squad course as well. Here I go into more advanced methods of following the horse system, including bonus turnover, non-promo betting on Betfair, and really speeding up the efficiency for yourself and also learning from my mistakes too. Cheers, guys.